Professor Pranab Das. I'm the chair of the physics department at Elon.
I'm Samantha DeRosa, assistant professor in the art department.
My name is Jeffrey Pugh. I'm professor of religious studies.
In physics, there are sort of three important different ways of looking at time.
Time is different things to different people.
Is that time depends on how things move, or how things move depends upon time.
If they're young, more in the present moment, or older, more reflective on the past.
Time is the phenomenon of an illusion. Time is something that I'm embedded in and mark, but I think those things are illusory.
Different objects moving in different contexts experience time differently. The faster you move, it turns out, the slower your clocks run. As you get very close to moving at the speed of light, your clocks stop altogether.
Sort of on that arrow, that trajectory that we're moving into the future. But for me, that's somewhat illusory.
What this tells us, at least on the level of particles and simple things like velocities, is that time is subjective. Every object experiences its own time frame.
I envision time in just sort of multi-dimensional expansion and movement out, not in a straight line arrow, not linear, not just in a cycle, but in an ever-increasing cycle, so that the universe is expanding.
Time is a manifestation of your particular state of motion in the universe.
To really be in a physical space, if that's where you are, walking to and from class, or waiting for the bus to come, and just notice everything around you.
The Greeks had a way of expressing time in that there was chronos time, which meant the sort of ongoing tick, tick, tick of time as it moves on. And then they had something called kairos time, which meant that within this sort of mundaneness of the passing and how we experience the passing of time, there are certain events or certain moments that take place that almost transcend the time. So it's kairos. It's unusual or unique or distinct time.
So this tends to lead most physicists, at least theoretical physicists, to think of time as a very fluid, subjective thing that applies differently to different objects in different situations.
I think a lot of us live in the past and in the future, much more so than in the present moment.
Somehow or the other, kairos time enters into the chronological time. So just that moment of exquisite beauty.
One way of thinking about time is the direction in which that disorder tends to increase. We call that entropy.
Time passing leaves its marks in many ways in the body as we get older. We feel the absence of someone who we might not see for a month that is close to us, and we yearn for that time to move quickly.
The way that we have established and structured time culturally has something to do with the rhythms of how I live my life.
For a dynamicist, time is the progress along a trajectory through that imaginary space.
Yes, our identities get structured differently the way that we perceive time.
What was time before clocks?